Hey guys, so I decided that I would try a braid out on my flat ironed hair. What I started with was a part in the middle. I'd seen But Shug do that quite a few times and she's really good at it. Her center parts always look really good. My hair really liked to snag and catch on the ends, as you may remember from one of my from my last flat iron video. So I had to work at separating it. I liked my little cute widow's peak to the side, so I kind of swept it to the side and had a little curved part. And ultimately the part went back about 2 or 3 inches. Once I parted it, I grabbed a big section on my right side and I started braiding that section. What you're going to notice as I go along and braid is that even though the sections are really big, the braids themselves are actually quite thin because I have thinner hair. So I used my shea butter mix. I didn't have any product that was a holding product. So I just decided to use what I had, which was my shea butter mix, shea butter with coconut oil, a bunch of oils, jojoba oil. I think there's some sweet almond oil in there, grapeseed oil, as well as different oils for fragrance. And I put that on all 3 sections of the braid. Then I started braiding it together. When I got to the end of each braid, I twisted the ends about 1 inch, sometimes about 2. I just twisted it together, and then I would tuck it away and move on to the next braid. Finally, hours later, this is seriously about 2 or 3 hours later, I got down to the last braid and finished up. And I ended up pinning it all together. I'd seen Glamazini or Roshni do this, and also Alicia James. So what I ended up doing was pinning the braids back and kind of sweeping them around, kind of like a wrap. And I used bobby pins and hairpins to keep them in place. So the next morning I woke up bright and early. It was my birthday, but I had to get up and take these braids out. It was also a Sunday, and so I needed to get ready for church and get my kids ready for school because they go to school on Sundays here. So I took off my scarf, and that's what the pinned up braids looked like. Get a good view of the back. And I just unpinned them and started unbraiding. It took a little while, probably took me, I don't know, 20 minutes. 15 or 20 minutes to get them all unbraided. They were quite tight, and so I was expecting some really nice definition. Here I am starting with the first braid. And I can already see that there's not a whole lot of definition with this braid. You can see that, there's a little bit, but there's not a lot of strong, solid definition. It was very, very soft as well, and I could tell that it would separate very easily. And so there is the final result. I was not happy with this braid out because there is absolutely no definition. This is what I call a braid out fail. So I struggled and tried to figure out what to do with it. And tried a few different looks. Nothing was working. Finally, my husband gave me an idea. My husband said, well, why don't you try pulling them all back? Just pull the sides back. So that was the look I came up with. I needed something to get out the door and get going. It started to puff up and get big almost immediately, which might be a good look if that's what I was going for, but I wasn't going for big hair without any definition. I was going for a braid out. So I just kind of tried to salvage it, pinned it back. You can see it starting to separate and inflate. But it was my birthday, so I was not going to let myself be down. So that was my look. I worked it because I had to. If I try braid out again, it will not be on flat ironed hair, and maybe I'll get better hold